Man, honestly, just put my trust in Jesus Christ. When you have a level head and you just put your trust in Him, at the end of the day, you're going to mess up. Nothing's going to be perfect, but you just got to flip the page and move on. And I know that Romans 8:28, all things work together for good for those who love the Lord and are called according to His purpose. So just keep on grinding and know that His plans are greater than mine, and try to be the best representation that I can be, and try to keep a level head and be calm at all times. So I appreciate that.
Preston, how much do you feel like that encapsulates this week of just trying to stay level-headed and move on from Saturday?
That's a big deal, and that's right after the game. That's immediately what was said. That's what I had tried to say to some of the guys after coaches had talked and stuff. Kind of, coach gave me my opportunity to say something, and I was like, hey guys, we've been in this situation before. This is not the first time we've ever lost. It's very inconvenient. Nobody wants to deal with it. It sucks. But you know what? We have another game to play next week. We're 0-0 in conference. So let's go in with a level head this week, put the loss behind us, learn from it, and ultimately go fix our mistakes and go have a great rest of the season. We've had some rough starts and finished out strong before. Looking back at 21, there were some games we've almost lost at the beginning that could have went the other way, and we ended up having a great year. So there's still a lot of season left to be played and a lot of ball left to be played. So that's my attitude, is keep a level head, put your trust in Christ, and we'll keep on working and we'll reach our goals.
How difficult is it to practice physicality? Is that something you have to just see in the game first? You have to get hit to know to get it back to that level?
Sorry, can you say that again?
How difficult is it to practice physicality throughout the week, or is it something you have to just be in the game in the moment and get hit?
So we try to practice physicality, especially in fall camp, leading up to it. We did, I would say, we honestly did have great physical practices last week. We really did everything we could do to prepare, with all honesty, and I went into the game going in confidently that we practiced very hard. So we were prepared, we just didn't execute. We didn't do the things we should have done. Getting back to your question about practicing physicality, we do get a good look. We get a good look by the scout team guys and by our defensive guys when we do get to play them. They give us great physical looks all year long. And, when you do get in the game, it might be a step above. You might face some other guys that you haven't faced before, but that's part of the game. That's the fun part.
What does South Alabama do to limit y'all's run game?
They played great defense. They played great defense all around. We shot ourselves in the foot in many areas. We need to be better. That's all I got to say about that one.
In what areas did you guys what areas can you guys improve them into this week?
Oh man, we can improve our areas. Penalties, that's a big one. We can improve by changing our schemes, by changing our stances, changing our alignments, changing the way we take our steps to get to the next level, changing our targeting. The way we approach things, a lot of people don't realize it boils down to very, very little small things can make a huge difference in the play, whether that's the way you look at it, the way you're thinking of the play before, and picturing where the guy's going to go. So it could be something so little as, hey, I'm going to have my hand a little bit further so I can get off quicker and get there one split second faster. But that's what the film's for. We go back, we look, we analyze, and we see the small things that we can't see fast speed in the game.
How does rotating guys in the offensive line mid-game change, what you're doing out there?
We haven't done it a lot in the past, but now we do have the depth to do it, and we do have some great players that we brought in that deserve to get some reps and can ultimately relieve some guys' legs a little bit. So it's something that we are getting used to, but I do think it's a great idea, and I trust whatever the coaches have decided, and whatever they decide to do, I know is going to be best and most beneficial for this program.
Does it change what you're doing, specifically as far as calls you're making, or what you're doing in block?
No, not me. It doesn't change anything for me, and it really doesn't change anything for the other guys besides just knowing how your guy plays. When you play next to the same guy, you know how they play, you know their steps, their techniques. But that's why we practice. So we practice rotating those guys in practice and mixing them up with different guys so you can start playing and learning how each other play. That's really the only adjustment. But putting other guys in games and playing next to new guys is no big deal. We just stick with the same calls and roll.
Preston, what is so weird about Jack Trice Stadium in Ames, Iowa? It seems like traditionally you guys, really anybody who goes up there kind of has a hard time coming out with a win. What is it about that place that makes it that difficult?
Man, yeah, you said it. That place is a difficult place to play. It's a great place to play, though. I'm very excited to be back. Ultimately we didn't come out with a win last time, so we're looking to go in there and compete hard and come out with a win. That's the end goal. I think that a lot of people might look at it and say, oh, it's a hard place to play, but that's anywhere on the road, Anywhere is hard to play on the road, so we don't look at it any different. it's fun to say, people, it's a hard place to play. It is, but we're excited to be there and excited to go there. And ultimately, it's no different than playing anywhere else.
Coach Gundy had said he didn't really know how you guys were going to respond on the road when you went to Arizona State, first road game of the season. Now that you've had one of those under your belt, how do you kind of handle, one of those tough road trips? As you kind of mentioned, everywhere is tough to play in the Big 12. It's the first of many.
Right. Well, I'll say it, man. That shout out to the fans. That Arizona State game felt like a home game. Those fans came to bring it, and they brought the house. So hopefully they do the same at Jack Trice Stadium. We can pack that place with orange as well. So let's bring the fans. Let's be rowdy. Let's get loud, and let's get after it.
Are you excited just to play another game? You just have another game coming up this week?
Absolutely. Each week is a new opportunity for this team, for this program, and of course, I'm looking forward to it. The game of football is something I've done my whole life, and every week's a new opportunity to get better, and I'm just looking forward to bettering my craft and just playing with this group of guys. This is a special group of guys, and a group of guys that I will never forget. So getting another game with these guys, the season goes by fast. Like Coach says, you're looking at the beginning of the year and you're going, man, it's game 1, game 2, game 3, and then all of a sudden it's over. And your season's over with, and then you look back and go, well, what happened? It all happened so quickly. So just 1 week at a time and just embracing it, and yeah.
Opportunity to kind of wash the bad taste out of your mouth, right, from Saturday?
Absolutely. Each week's a new opportunity to get better and, put the past behind us. We've already put that behind us, and we had, you guys know, you guys are at practice right now. We just had another practice for prep for Iowa State, so there's no more South Alabama anymore.
With the bye week next week, does that help also getting an extra week of adjustments before you have to jump back into conference play?
Yes, it does. I know the coaches are definitely planning for that, and they have a great plan. The bye week's always been good for us because I know our coaches just work extremely hard, and so they've probably already been planning for it. I'm sure they have a plan and everything already scripted as to what we're going to do.
I know you've probably been asked this already, but seeing the 3-man, the odd man front so much out of your own defense now, do you think that'll make it easier? Because I know there's some similarities, there's some differences, but there's a lot of similarity.
Yes, getting to play the 3-down front in practice versus a great defensive line, great group of linebackers, overall great defense is definitely going to help us, playing other teams that do run a 3-down. It was a little bit different back a few years ago when we had Coach Knowles with 3-down in the Leo, and it was such a different defense that nobody ran, but we were great at it. It was special. So now going to 3-down and getting those reps in practice, it will specifically help the offense translate over because it's the same blocking techniques and different things that we're going to be able to practice here. We'll be able to translate to the field.
1 or 2 more, we'll let them go.
How are you feeling health-wise 3 games in? Preseason, there's a lot of talk about you're stretching and just getting ready to play a full 12-game season. How are you feeling 3 games in?
Man, honestly, I feel 100%. I feel like that I've done everything I can do to take care of my body this offseason. I'll give you a little insight. So I did some stem cells with Dr. Wade McKenna back in Trophy Club, Texas. Did some on my shoulders, elbow, and both my ankles. Did a lot of yoga. Was at yoga every week. Take pride in that. Didn't miss a single week of yoga. So I improved my flexibility tremendously in all areas of my body to try to prevent, injuries from happening. Tried to, looking at it and going, man, this is my 5th year. I really didn't want to mess this up. An injury happened last year that was unplanned, and I was like, sometimes you can't help it. And I looking back, I was like, I can't get mad at myself. Nothing that I did caused this injury, but I'm going to try to do everything I can that, God forbid another situation happens like that. Maybe if I'm more flexible, maybe if I would have done this, maybe if I would have done that. So, I tried to take every single precaution this off season to make my body prime and spend a lot of time with, our great training staff, and they had helped me a bunch this off season to get back to where I need to be. And I feel 100% just excited to be back with the Cowboys, man.
Thanks, guys.